Hello, everyone. My name is Ertan Torgul, and I am the violinist for Soli Chamber Ensemble. Welcome to Fiestas Patrias, a month-long celebration of Hispanic heritage in San Antonio. For the past 27 years, Soli had the privilege of bringing the newest and the best contemporary classical music to its San Antonio audiences. We have commissioned over 100 new works, and each of the world premieres took place in San Antonio. The first selection you will hear is a story by Elizabeth Leal, and it's called A West Side Elegy. It recounts a childhood memory that includes a spiritual encounter and an unfortunate death of a loved one. The second selection, Metallurgist Scherzo, is a lively scherzo, and it is inspired by San Antonio jeweler and metallurgist Alejandro Cifuentes. We hope you enjoy this beautiful piece and enjoy the rest of the celebrations for Fiestas Patrias.
So,
So,
this summer series that they've been doing is a great opportunity to explore some of the ways that they, configure themselves differently and how they can easily adapt to a changing environment. But it's also an opportunity to look back on just some of the great accomplishments and achievements that they have. One of which is the Ballads thing, which is why we're here today
right,
chatting.
right, right.
So
Absolutely.
that was that's such a great um, community collaboration, um, and it brought together such incredibly disparate forces in such a wonderful way. I wonder if you want to reminisce a little bit about that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I suppose, that experience, if we look at sort of, 2020 is the year where we're going to look at in our lifetimes that everything changed. I think, in the concert music world, which is the world we're connected to, but so many of them. I think personally, as an artist, I think, in some ways, 2017, the year that this all came together, this premiere of Ballads of the Borderland, was, I think, things really changed professionally for me in the sense that, um, to be on a project that had so much, in the business world they would say buy-in, but really it's investment, another business term, but really there were a lot of interested parties, people that had a creative voice in this. I mean, it was your organization at the time, the Children's Chorus of San Antonio, Soli. We had, of course, members of the San Antonio Chamber Choir, Tynan Davis, who was an alum of the Children's Chorus, um, and then of course the city and the various organizations that provided space for us, the beautiful St. Mark's downtown, and then of course the Tricentennial Commission. There were all these people that came in, and then of course I think what was so um, moving for me was being able to have a hand in the stories that got shared through that, and seeing members of the community come. And although they were represented in these four different voices, those voices really represent other entire communities. And so I don't think I can ever go back again. I mean, I see creative compositional work now as a function of, I mean, community engagement seems to be part of it,
Yeah.
for me. And it's hard to leave that and just kind of go back into the tower, and just quietly compose works that nobody hears. You want to be a part of something broader.
and there were homemade tortillas waiting for you. Those were the happiest days, the happiest days. In those days we called our house Dark Shadow. Every night when I went to bed, I slept with the covers over my head. When I went to bed, the creaking door, the white hand see-through white, the phantom in the sandbox with his long and vacant gaze, standing in the spirit, stone-faced. I'll go with you, Daddy. I'll go with you. We saw his wallet and his blood. The divers pulled him out, dressed in black. Michael, my brother, 15 years old.
I love, in particular, recall when we were conceiving of that, and when you were putting it together, when you were creating the work, in particular, your story around that was the genus for the metallurgist scherzo, um, and you,
Yeah.
Alejandro
Oh,
Cifuentes.
Alejandro. Yeah, phenomenal. And so, of course, um, Alejandro is very widely known in San Antonio, of course. He has his workshop there in La Villita where he's a metallurgist and a jeweler. And of course, if you're in the metals and precious metals and jewelry world, he's well known, beyond San Antonio. But I got to meet Alejandro through my wife, who my wife is an Ayurvedic practitioner, and so Alejandro is also an Ayurvedist, and so he was one of the first people she met when we moved here. He came up to our house, and for an appointment, and they hit it off. And I knowing a little bit about him, I knew I wanted to be a part of it, like his story. So I went into his workshop and just got to ask him about his life. And what I was so fascinated with learning about was um, how he works with, his work with fire, and so we're in this workshop and he's got these blow torches around, but it's like in like micro, like really small blow torches. And then just telling his story about learning to really express himself through his craft. And so the Metallurgist Scherzo is a piece that I was really excited to write because, well, at first I tried to create, well, can I turn his interview into something texted that the choirs are going to sing? And I just thought that some of the interviews led themselves to that, but this one was so colorful in terms of like, so I use this kind of minimalist texture. I use this idea of a repeated motive that rotates, and it's shifting metric emphasis. So it's kind of like the visual analog would be like looking at an object and then rotating it so that it catches the light differently. And so it was kind of like you pick up a diamond and you change the perspective. And so that's kind of what happens in the material. And I think that was the genesis of the Metallurgist Scherzo was light and perspective and fire.
Yeah, it's such an incredible movement within the context of the larger piece. And it always does catch me anew every time I hear it when we go back to the work. And it is true. Every time I hear it, I find something new and find something different to observe or to take in and appreciate about that piece.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
It's just such an incredible movement.